So let's talk about how to solve a quadratic equation. The equation I am given is 4x squared plus 3x minus 1. I can use different methods to solve this one, but in this video we are going to focus on the solution using quadratic formula. Now, what is a quadratic formula? Quadratic formula is given as x equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now, where are all these terms b, a, and c coming from? They come from the standard form of a quadratic equation. So the standard form of a quadratic equation is given as, sorry about that. So the standard form is given as ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, so this is our standard form of a quadratic equation. Now, to solve a quadratic equation using quadratic formula, the first step is to compare your equation with the standard form of quadratic equation. So let's try and do that. Our equation is, I'm going to rewrite our equation so that we can easily compare. So our equation is 4x squared plus 3x minus 1 equals 0. Okay. Now let's compare these two. If we look at the squared term, which is this one, we can easily find that a is simply 4. Similarly, if we look at x powered 1 term, we can easily see that b equals 3. And lastly, if we look at x power 0 term, or the term without x, we can see that c equals 1. Okay, so now we have obtained the values of these a, b, and c. We have to substitute these values into this formula and we will calculate the values of x. Okay, so let's do that in step 2. Okay, so in step 2, we do substitution of a, b, and c into the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is given here. Okay, this one. If I substitute values into it, my b is 3, so it will be minus 3. Then I will just write the sign plus minus as it is. And then inside the square root, I will write minus 3 squared because it's b squared in there. Or rather plus 3 squared actually. And then I'll write the minus sign, then write 4. Then I'll write the value of a, which is also 4 inside the bracket. Then I'll write the value of c, which is also which is minus 1 in this case. Okay. So under I will write 2 times a, which is 4. Okay. So we have substituted values of a, b, and c into this formula. Now you are seeing these brackets, which I have put in order to assist us in understanding. You don't have to. You can also use multiplication signs. Totally your choice. Now, step 3 is simplification. We just simplify our formula. Okay, so this will be minus 3 plus minus 3 squared is 9. Minus 4 times 4 is 16. And because there is minus minus, which is multiplied, so it will become plus. So it will be plus 16 divided by 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, and now we will further simplify it. So x equals to minus 3 plus minus 16 plus 9 is 25 divided by 8. Okay, then we will further simplify it. So it will be minus 3 And now because it is 25, we know that 25 is the square of 5. So we can write it like 5 squared square root divided by 8. And as you know, we can cancel this square with the square root. So it will be minus 3 plus minus 8 divided by 8. All right. So now we have two answers for x. This plus minus sign, now we are going to open this plus minus sign. So what we'll do is we'll write two values of x. The first value is x equals to minus 3 plus, sorry, it should be 8 here, not, it should be 5 here, not 8. Okay, so plus 5 divided by 8, this is 1. And then we'll write another value of x with minus 5. Minus 5 divided by 8. Okay, so now we simplify further. X equals 2 over 8, which is 1 over 4. Okay, and here we have x equals minus 8 over 8, which is equals to minus 1. All right, so we have got two values of x. Now we have solved the quadratic equation and we have got two values. So x equals 1 over 4 and minus 1. So these are the two values of x that are going to satisfy our formula, our given quadratic equation. Okay, so once again, just to summarize, we were given a quadratic equation. We had to find values of x, which solved this quadratic equation. So we use quadratic formula, which is given here. In step 1, we compared our given quadratic equation with the standard form of quadratic equation. We found the values of a, b, and c. In step 2, we substituted those values into the quadratic formula. In step 3, we simplified further, and then we found values of x equals to 1 over 4 and minus 1. So this is how the whole solution looks like. Okay. Thank you very much for watching.